So Tom Cruise is back on the big screen as Ethan Hunt in the 7th Mission Impossible adventure. The fuse has been lit on this, the first part of a two-parter. But is it any good? We're going to talk about it. Welcome back to the channel, everyone, and welcome to my new review for Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. Coming at us directed by Christopher McQuarrie and written by Christopher McQuarrie and co-written by Eric Jedrison. This film is 163 minutes in length with a budget of $290 million. Big budget action adventure starring Tom Cruise, joined by Hayley Atwell, and returning characters played by Ving Rhames, Simon Pegg, Rebecca Ferguson. We also have Vanessa Kirby, Pom Klementieff joining the adventure. So this film here, is it any good? Yes. So this Mission Impossible adventure, it's been hyped up massively. We know that. We've seen the stunt work. We've seen that stunt where Tom Cruise drives the motorbike off of a cliff. First thing he filmed for this movie, just in case he died. Don't have to film anything else then. Don't have to waste too much money. So this film here starts off, it opens up on a Russian submarine. And it looks like they're under attack by another submarine. But they're not, and they end up getting targeted, but they do sink. They do sink, and all on board are dead. This is under the Arctic. And there's these keys on board. There's something on board this Russian sub, and we get into the adventure. And basically, we've got this goober, which is a key, and everyone is hunting down this key because we've got this essentially a villain called the Entity. Now, the Entity is an artificial intelligence that has essentially become sentient, and it can predict things, it can predict the outcomes of things, it knows what's going to happen, and we're in a race with all different countries wanting to get a hold of the key to this, because this is the ultimate power. If you can get this key, then you can control the Entity, and you can essentially dominate the earth. You're the ruler. This entity is essentially God. That's what it essentially is. And so the whole film takes on this elaborate adventure in the hunt for this key, only we never know what this key is going to open or lead to. This is where part 2 of the film comes in. Now, this is a globe-trotting adventure. Once again, Ethan Hunt and his crew have to go rogue to save the day. That's sort of same old story trope, but it ain't about that. It's about the action in these movies, and this film delivers in droves. There's so much action on the screen, so many action set pieces for us to contend with, to deal with, for us to enjoy. And, you know, a $290 million budget, that money is on screen. This film looks fabulous. And at 163 minutes, it is a long movie, but it doesn't drag. It keeps you entertained. It keeps you watching the screen. The stakes are there. It keeps you on the edge of your seat. Tom Cruise, again, fantastic in the role of Ethan Hunt. He's taken this character and he has made it his own. And these Mission Impossible films, they just seem to be getting better and better and better as they go on. You know, I can't think of a bad Mission Impossible film once we hit 3 and onwards. These films were fantastic. The 2 before that, they were kind of finding their feet and kind of finding their feel. And from 3, they got it, and they've hit the ground running, and they keep on delivering. This is big budget summer spectacular movie. This film isn't going to let you down in any way, shape or form. All the cast deliver. Hayley Atwell is a fantastic addition to the cast. I loved her from her time in the MCU as Captain Carter or Peggy Carter. And it's great to see her, and she's got great chemistry with Tom Cruise. Ving Rhames and Simon Pegg back again. Fantastic to see them. And same with Sarah Ferguson. Now, Pom Klementieff, obviously fresh off of Guardians of the Galaxy MCU also, as Mantis. Nice to see her in a role, and she delivers as well. Now, like I said, what we've come to see is the spectacular of the action scenes in this film. And whether it's car chases or fights upon a rooftop of trains, it delivers. It delivers in droves. It never does it feel fake that we're looking at. The money is there. The choreography is fantastic. The use of the camera angles, going up and over things. You know, you could see everything. It's all there. The film delivers in that sense. The soundtrack for the film, again, top notch, works for the film. Yeah, so this is a very, very positive movie, you know, and obviously it would be a 4K release for me, a day one purchase, because this is a really good film. In fact, I think I enjoyed this much more than what I enjoyed the last one, the one that came before this, which in itself was very good. Now, like I said, this is the first part of a two-parter, but it does kind of, it doesn't end in such a way that it's a sort of leaves you on a cliffhanger that you're waiting for the next one. It kind of wraps up its own story, but with a massive thread that is going to lead through into the next one. So you're not left on this to be continued cliffhanger, but the story is to be continued. This film's self-contained story is kind of closed off with the hunt for this key and things like that. Yeah, a solid film. The only niggle I might have with this film is that I found myself in some of the action scenes. There's an action scene in Rome where they're in cars doing a car chase, and this is a niggle. This really truly is me niggling. There's no one in the backgrounds. It feels unpopulated until certain segments of that action scene where they feel that they have put as an action scene. There's a bit on these steps. That's where they've thrown in some people for population. But there's scenes that are rushing down roads, left, right and centre, and it's dead. There's no one about walking around in Rome. Now, if you've been to Rome or somewhere like that, it's a very busy place. There's always someone about. It's not as quiet as what's depicted here. It very much reminded me of the Avengers, and I'm not talking about the MCU Avengers. I'm talking about the Steel, you know, and Emma Peel Avengers movie. That had the same issue where it was a very unpopulated city. And then there's a trope at the end of this film where they're on this train, and this train is out of control and speeding, careering down a track which is very curvy because this is set at this point. It was filmed in Norway train tracks, because of the topography of the land. They have to work their way and weave around. Now, when a train is on tracks, a train wants to go straight. Trains don't have movement in their wheels whatsoever. So when a track curves, the train itself wants to go forwards. It just wants to carry on straight. So hence you apply a bit of canting to that track where you lift one rail above the other on the curve. So it assists with the train going round the curve. In situations like that, trains generally have to slow down on a curve or it's going to fly straight off of the track. So at the point in this film where this train is damaged and now it's sped up, and at points where it's meant to slow down. Now, I know that this is me again digging and pointing at silly little things that any normal person wouldn't actually know or even think about, but I'm thinking this train would be flying off them tracks any time. It wouldn't stay its course. And they're the sort of, but I'm nitpicking on things that other people are not going to notice. It's like me saying you could never open a parachute at that point if I was a parachutist, but I'm not a parachutist, so I wouldn't know. Do you see what I'm saying? But I know a little bit about the topography of land and how things like tracks are made, and you know, and canting and all this sort of thing. Even roads use it. Roads use canting. If you see a curve on the road, you'll see that the road is it assists with the manoeuvrability of the vehicles, but a vehicle you can turn. And I'm going off on a tangent here, aren't I? Talking about that. But no, this is a fabulous film. I had so much fun with it, and I can't wait to see the next one, Part 2, Dead Reckoning Part 2. So, there we go, my review for this film. Solid summer blockbuster action adventure. High stakes, fantastic action, great acting, great choreography, definite 4K, steelbook release, whatever, day one purchase. Superb. Let me know your thoughts down below if you have seen it. I'll speak to you soon. Take care all and goodbye.